Multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money. Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time.
That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good.
Very good.
Coming in hot. Jimmy coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, Lara, Ginger.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Lights go low, the city goes high. Stories untold under moonlit skies. Braylon got the vibe, got the flow for the culture. Yeah, you already know. Turn it up, lean back, feel the breeze. Late night truths drifting through the trees. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon's got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Headlines flip with a soulful twist. Behind the scenes where the magic sits. It's the heartbeat of the now and the then, where the story starts and never ends. Tune in, lean and feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon's got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire.
All right. Hello, and a good morning to you. By the way, is the music good? because I got like a woman who complained on the Mega the Stallion live stream, Malagograms live stream that we did, that the music is too loud. And then Miss Adonis, the one with the multicolored, body picture, she said that she can't deal with the background music. So it's on a 21. Okay, so like the background music can't really go anywhere because that's a part of our show, you know what I mean? But is it at an appropriate level for y'all? For y'all that are hearing it, let me know. I'm glad to have all you here. And CC 2254, yes, indeed. Happy New Year, my friend. Here's to bigger and better times ahead. I fully agree with you. So I wanted to come on this morning and talk to you guys about something that's quite interesting. You guys know we've been going live at 11 a.m. for several years now. But there's something that you need to know about that time slot that relates to the media world. Really, not just to the media world, but to the creator economy and much, much more. So with that being said, let's get to it. Higher is waiting, low is available, but either way, we got to go on tour. Yes, indeed, we do. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And one thing to know, and two things for sure, that over here on this channel, a lot happens early. Roll it.
It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Julie Chen. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
Morning everywhere. Come on, get up.
I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Dave Price.
And it's a little early for this.
Right now, this it's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early. Every day's good when you're starting it out right. But I'm waiting in the daylight. And a lot happens early. Can you feel it? And I say,
Good morning, everybody.
Are you girls ready for the Jonas Brothers?
We have an early show exclusive. Yes.
A lot happens early.
A lot happens
Early.
The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.
It's a new morning.
Yes, it is a new morning. Julie Chen, Moonves, and the Russ Mitchell, Dave Price, Sarah Smith, and Maggie Rodriguez for the first Monday this year. You're absolutely right on this channel right here. A lot happens early. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully all is well with each and every single one of you. Let's get to the getting and do what we do, because I'm so excited to bring y'all this deep dive live. Sometimes when I really don't see a lot of destinations to talk about, we will do a deep dive live because, for one, why not? Number two, it gives you a chance to see me in a different light. Number three, too, I don't believe in going on with 7 destinations that I really don't care talking about. Just keep it in a book. So let's get to it here. So we're going to start with this article here from TechCrunch. Right here, Netflix is betting podcasts to become the new daytime talk show. Netflix is betting on podcasts to become the new daytime talk show. Netflix is betting on podcasts to become the new daytime talk show. So basically, imagine Braylon's virtual tour live right here. Wait for it, right here on That's what they're saying. Let's get to it. Here we go. When you tune into a podcast, you're probably not opening up the Netflix app, at least for now. That might change if Netflix gets its way. The streamer signed deals with iHeartMedia, Barstool Sports this week, in addition to a recent deal with Spotify to gain exclusive video rights to select shows. The company is also rumored to be in talks with SiriusXM. I would just think, do Netflix content creator radio on SiriusXM and, bring some content creators on SiriusXM. And, SiriusXM's got studios in Los Angeles. They got them in New York. They got them in Nashville. They got them, I believe, in Miami. And then you got virtual, people come in like myself. And guess what? You have the rights to that because that's your station on SiriusXM Radio. But hey, listen, Netflix are the smart ones, okay? Listen, I'm just a black man talking on YouTube. Podcasters see this as an offensive move with YouTube as the primary target, and the data provides a convincing argument. According to YouTube, viewers watched over 700 million hours. Let me say it 2 more times. 700 million hours of podcasts each month on living room devices like TVs in 2025, and up from 400 million per month last year. I think I told you guys that I was seen on 17,959 total televisions. Or that's how many views I've been on with TV. I think that was just last month. So people are watching YouTube primarily on their TVs. We talked about that here on Braylon's Virtual Tour Live. As people begin to spend less time watching traditional television and more time watching short form, low cost, low production value content on YouTube. Hold on now. Hold on a second. There's some high quality, high energy productions, okay, on YouTube. Okay. Now listen, this show's about $1,000 laptop, 1,000 Canva and StreamYard subscription. Okay, so that's about $1,000 and some change. But still, it's high quality because of the topics that we talk about. So I do get very leery when, the industry says low cost, low production, because it's just like, child, you can't say that about everybody. Okay, just keeping it a buck. Let's see here. On YouTube, that might present a long-term competitive threat to Netflix. Matthew Leishart, an entertainment attorney and former head of podcast business affairs at Spotify, told TechCrunch. While podcasters might understand the motivation, not everyone's convinced about Netflix's move. Some podcasters told TechCrunch they're not sure there is long-term value in video podcasts, while others are worried Netflix is contributing to a podcast bubble. They're basically saying we want to be the king of content, and the only way we're going to do that is if we take a swipe at YouTube. Podcaster Ronald Young Jr. told TechCrunch. Young Jr. thinks people are tuning on video podcasts and letting them play in the background, knowing that ESPN has been doing some version of this much longer than we've been able to name it. The buzz of video podcasts, when independent podcasters Mike Sherbert and Sequoia Simone launched their new show, Professional Talkers, this year, they noted the buzz around video podcasts and decided to start the new show as a video first production on YouTube and Spotify. Neither of us had done video before, so we were like, why don't we just start from the beginning, make this a video show? Schubert told TechCrunch. Schubert found that his audience was ambivalent toward the video, perhaps because he already spent nearly a decade releasing audio podcasts, cultivating a fan base that already enjoys and collects audio content. We posted an audio-only episode. It did pretty similarly numbers-wise. He said, so why we put so much time and effort into video and then run the risk of the episode being late when we can just do audio only? Young Jr. considered investing more energy into video, but decided against it. Like Schubert, well, he realized that he built an audience that prefers listening to podcasts over viewing them. I'm like, well, who am I pivoting for? He said, I realized that pivot would be for advertisers, podcast executives, and for people who think that video is the direction that everyone's going. Still, there are some consumers who want to see video, even a passive show, channel background, as evident by YouTube's algorithm. That's Micah Sargent, a podcast producer and video host at TWIT-TV, works on shows like This Week in Tech, which have had a video component for more than 15 years. Disclosure, I co-host a show at TWIT-TV. Something that I regularly hear from our listeners is you were my background when I was going through a time or I needed to travel across the country. Having you there to listen helped me pass the time. There's a lot of fast video podcasts, so Netflix can look at that and go, we have to get this thing that in some cases take up more time and more stream than you would do with a different show. So what's a podcast anyway? With this being said, I've always felt that podcasts are basically just specialized radio. That's it. So when you hear a true crime podcast, that's true crime radio. When you hear a fashion podcast, that's fashion radio. When you hear a culinary podcast, that's just a food podcast, right? That's just food radio. I've always felt that, but let's get to it here. What's a podcast anyway? There's a disconnect between how creators and tech companies think about podcasts. people who make podcasts can be a conversational show like the ones on YouTube, like we're doing right now. But it can also be a format that doesn't translate seamlessly to video, like scripted fiction with sound design, voice actors, or the kind of report refined audio stories that you find on National Public Radio. I think this has to do with how squishy the word podcast is now. Podcaster Eric Silver told me that can mean anything. It just means show now. You mean tell me I've been doing a podcast the whole time? Now, I do have a very good friend of mine who said that I needed to put all my episodes with the podcast. And I said, I don't really know how. Well, she showed me how. Yeah, she did. She showed me how. Here's the thing, right, about podcasting. I genuinely believe if you started your show on YouTube as a show for YouTube, right, and it is a show, it's not a podcast, it's a show, then stick to that format, right? Now, could you download Braylon's Virtual Tour Live as a podcast? Yes, you could. You could literally just take the video link of this video, go find a YouTube downloader, download this video, and you see the options. You'll see video, you'll see audio only. You click audio, and then there's the audio podcast. So yeah, you could download this as a podcast, but primarily this is a show. Okay, so when I saw this, I'm just like, okay, well, if I get picked up by Spotify, if I get picked up by Netflix, are they going to believe that Braylon's Virtual Tour Live is a podcast? No, it's a show. For those independent creators, the corporate goings on between Netflix and Spotify doesn't mean the impact that they make. But podcasters remember what happened when Spotify bought up and consolidated a significant chunk of the industry, created a bubble, and that same bubble then burst that same bubble itself. The impact reverberated across the country with studio closures, layoffs, and a conception among onlookers that podcasting was dead. So when another big tech company comes waltzing into their industry, they're skeptical. In any form of entertainment media, when companies consolidate, the people who currently have power continue to get richer and richer than the industry underneath it. Silver said the future gets more and more murky as less and less resources. Netflix isn't making as extreme moves as Spotify. The latter company spent billions acquiring several tech companies and studios, allowing Spotify to control the entire process of making podcasts, from the recording software to the ad sales tools. I think what Netflix is doing is a bit more calculated than what Spotify did. Young Jr. said Spotify blindly threw money at the top creators, and they kind of cratered in the market doing so, because the men you value, Joe Rogan at $250 million, you value them so highly that the regular podcaster is like, where do I follow this? But what's seen as an industry changing, the fusion of money onto the podcast industry isn't actually that staggering for a company like Netflix, which is on track to make about $45 billion this year. Netflix and Spotify are similar in that way. Aggressive moves to test a new value proposition by targeting top performers and spending money that ultimately is not substantial from the perspective of a global tech platform, but is meaningful to the creator economy to quickly learn if there is a there. Desart said Netflix has only made deals with media companies thus far rather than individual creators like Spotify did, but Desart thinks Netflix investments are only the beginning. I would expect Netflix at some point go try and strike a 9-figure deal for a top podcast creator. He added, I will also expect Netflix to take really big swings with very high profile personalities on original podcasts. If Netflix gets their way, our culture will shift away from watching programmatic daytime TV and talk shows and toward watching podcasts. Back in the day, my mom would have a soap opera playing in the background while she was doing things. I was definitely the person who would have The Office playing in the background while I'm doing things. So you said now people get to have a podcast playing in the background while they are doing things. Netflix can be the place where they go to do that. Then I think it's good for the company. Here's the thing, right? I think with this is a very dangerous precedent, right? Because shows that, they have had their intros, their outros, they've had the meat and potatoes of their show for a long time. For that to be reduced to a podcast I think it's heinous, crass, and disrespectful. Right? We've been doing Braylon's Virtual Tour Live for about 3 years. We started in 2023, so 2023, 2024, 2025, and about to be on our fourth year of live streaming, right? Our show. It's not a podcast. I never made it as a podcast. I always said this is a YouTube show made for YouTube. Now, does that not mean that this could be for network television? Sure. Could it be for cable television? Sure. Could it be for a streaming platform? Sure. But if I get a deal, right, for, hey, we want Braylon's Virtual Tour to be a video podcast, it's like, it's not a video podcast. It's literally a show. Because when I think of podcasts, I think of like recorded intros, right? Like, hello, welcome to the Braylon Virtual Tour podcast. On today's episode, it's da 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 da. No, that's not this. When I do Braylon's Virtual Tour Live, you know, I say, hey, what up, though? How y'all feel? Everybody good? She made from the family member, Braylon, da 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 da. I'm paraphrasing it, but I always give you a sneak peek of all 7 destinations, and then I say higher is weighing, low is available. But either way, we got to go on tour. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. Hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is a me. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Glad to have you all here. Let's get to the gig and doing what we do. That's a show. Okay. So with that being said, I want to show y'all this here. Now, this is interesting. Now, the New York Times came out with an article, and they talked about YouTube having a firm grip on daytime TV. So let me show y'all this here. So this is what it looks like right here. Right here. Right. Nope, right there. Okay. You see that right there? YouTube's the biggest streaming lead over Netflix and other competitors in large part. Stems in large part rather to its dominance during daylight hours. So I have the article, of course, because y'all know how media sites are. You gotta copy it and post it in your documents. Okay, here we go. Let me zoom in here. There we go. Okay, here we go. This came out December 23rd, 2025, but it's a very important article. So here we go. At Nancy Ann Ling's house in Central Texas, the TV generally goes on around 5 a.m. and Mrs. Ling flips over to the same app each day, YouTube. For many hours after that, the app keeps running. As she prepares breakfast, Mrs. Ling and her husband stream the previous night's monologue from Stephen Colbert or Seth Meyers. After her husband heads off to work, she finds comforting background noise for meditating. By the afternoon, she tunes into cycling videos as she exercises, and then later turns to the YouTube channels of local news outlets while she cooks. But when the sun goes down, YouTube goes off. Miss Ling 57 scrolls to an app like Apple TV or BritBox or scripted entertainment. And Miss Ling's viewing habits mirror those of millions of Americans. YouTube has been winning the streaming wars for years, generating more TV viewer time in the United States than Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus, and every other app out there. In November, it accounted for nearly 13% of viewing time, compared with 8% of Netflix. Next in line, according to Nielsen, rather. Much of YouTube's lead, though, comes from its dominance during the daytime, adding a challenge for media and streaming executives who are trying to puzzle how to close a widening gap. For 11 a.m., for instance, we go live at 11 a.m. YouTube has had an average audience of 6.3 million viewers in October, Nielsen said. Netflix audience is less than half of that at 2.8 million. Right? Amazon has about 1 million viewers at that hour, and some streaming services like HBO Max, Paramount, Peacock draw fewer than 600,000. So at 11 a.m. on YouTube, the average audience in October was 6.3 million. 6.3 million. 6,300,000 people. Now, let's just say that Braylon's Virtual Tour, does a morning edition every day, right? And we had a deal, this, that, and the third, right? So let's do 6.3 million right? Let's just say we got that per day times 5 right here, right? So that would be so that would be 31,500,000 people a week. If that was the case, right? Which 6.3 million in today's standards of television is absolutely huge. I'm gonna bring that article up just now. I just thought of something that I didn't know if I could bring it up, but I did want to bring this up because TV is still powerful, ladies and gentlemen. It still is. I want to show you how. Give me a moment. Shout out about YouTube and daytime TV. We just learned that at 11 a.m. in the month of October, that in that time slot of 11 a.m., YouTube got 6.3 million users. Yeah. So let's see here. Okay, here it is here. So I wanted to show y'all this right here from Deadline.com. Dick Clark's New Year's Eve up 35% with 30 million viewers tuned in at midnight. Okay. Here we go. Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve rang in 2026 with a ratings victory. The annual special that celebrated the new year with 30 million viewers at midnight on ABC. That's a 35.1% increase over last year's audience of 22.2 million when the ball dropped in Times Square and a 4-year high. Per early Nielsen data or day, the late night edition of the special from 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. averaged 18.8 million viewers, also up slightly from 2025. Meanwhile, in prime time, New Year's Rockin' Eve led broadcast from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. with 7.03 million viewers, posting a 12% increase over last year. The audience grew as the night went on, as expected, with 10.59 million viewers from 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Eastern. The second part of the primetime special just rose a hair over 2025's 9.31 million. As the night wore on, things began to dwindle down, though a sizable audience stuck around until nearly 2 a.m. ABC's late night special generated 8.25 million viewers from 12:30 a.m. to 1:51 a.m. That's nearly double last year's 4.45 million and an 8-year high. So I bring up those numbers to say to people that, well, television's dying. 30 million people watch the ball drop on ABC. Let me tell you something. I've been saying this. Television broadcasts what people can be curious about. Streaming showcases what they give a fuck about. Linear television broadcasts what people could be interested in. Streaming showcases what they give a fuck about. Broadcast television, linear TV showcases what people could be interested in, but streaming showcases what they give a fuck about. Now let's go with the comments here. I have to stream it, and for the last 2 years when I've tried to watch, I have been able to, because essentially behind a paywall, I refuse to pay for even more subscriptions. It was supposed to be on YouTube TV and Hulu Live, but both links advertised Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, pulled up a oceanography documentary. Oh my God! That person should get a free subscription to YouTube TV and Hulu Live. What the fuck? But Hulu Live, for those of you who don't know, there was this thing called Vin Sports, which was supposed to be ESPN, Fox Sports, and NBC, right? No, it was ESPN, Warner Bros. Discovery, and Fox, right? So all those people were supposed to come together. Fubo, which is a sports streamer, stopped that, and now Hulu plus Live TV is folding into Fubo. So that's everything you need to know about that. Yeah. ABC's official coverage of the ball drop was tons of news stories, drowning everything else out. Overall, I think my family's done trying to deal with anything Times Square oriented. Too bad we forgot Disney has a New Year's Eve event, which is what we previously watched when met with the same bogus. Stuck around because of Diana Ross. She's worth an icon performing at an iconic event. That is very, very true. Love everyone that was on that show. That was on the show, rather. The singers from K-pop Demon Hunters are great for ratings every single time. That's the only reason why I was interested in watching 400X and K-pop Demon Hunter. Yes, stuck around to finally see Chicago, the beautiful city, fireworks being featured. That's why more people this year wasn't just New York and LA. Although I will say I do miss Billy Porter live from New Orleans. I think that was probably more fire than Chance the Rapper in Chicago. No disrespect to Chicago. You guys brought Oprah Winfrey, Chicago deep dish pizza, many more great things. Michael Jordan, of course. But yeah, I never watched it. But this year, Diana Ross was there, so I watched. I wonder if the increase in viewership is because of Ryan Seacrest's gig at Wheel of Fortune. They're seeing him there and follow him to New Year's Eve. I'll say this. Yes and no. Yes and no. I think that Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy are staple shows that are never going to get canceled. They have established fan bases that let that show go off the air. It's not just going to be a revolt from the fans. It's going to be a revolt from the advertisers and the shareholders. Okay. People like having consistent bags of money and consistent checks in their bank account. The New Year's Eve show came on right after Will and Jeopardy, and a lot of markets did it. Yeah, it did. But in the same token, though, that was good timing, right? Most of the Sony game shows do appear on ABC stations across the country. But also, too, if the lineup wasn't good, it would not have mattered if Ryan Seacrest was on Wheel of Fortune. They would not have watched New Year's Eve anyway, right? So just wanted to just bring that to y'all attention because, yeah. Let's see here. Older comments. Was held by music that appeared live, although per usual was pre-taped. The banter and posts or stay. Oh my God! Ryan Seacrest still stop it. It was his 21st New Year's Eve. Stop that shit. Anyway, let's get back to this article. YouTube, which is owned by Google and Alphabet, continues to hold a commanding lead as the day progresses. It is only in the primetime hours that the competition narrows significantly. Netflix's average audience swells over to 11 million viewers at 9 p.m., only a bit behind YouTube's audience of 12 million. For example, other large services like Amazon, Disney, and HBO Max also close in on YouTube's lead during prime time before YouTube's dominance begins again in the overnight hours and continues into the next day. We've changed our daytime viewing because of the accessibility that YouTube gives us. This link said it's the immediacy of it. Anything we want is in one place. There's no more flipping between channels. YouTube's growing dominance in TV streaming. And this is just for YouTube, not the YouTube TV subscription service, which features traditional cable networks, has been a conundrum to streaming and entertainment executives who continue to invest tens of billions in scripted, unscripted entertainment to get people to subscribe and watch. YouTube is forcibly encroaching on their turf now. The company reached a 5-year deal to exclusively stream the Oscars beginning in 2029, ending a run for ABC that began in the 1970s. So for those of you who don't know, rights are huge. And I think with like the NFL, it could be up to $1 billion just to have the rights to, broadcast the NFL. And so, of course, the Academy wanted more money. ABC did not want to do that, but they still wanted the event. And me and just John, that we talked about this here on Braylon's Virtual Tour Live, because the Oscars are moving over to YouTube, will the Oscars grow in terms of audience? And what I said was probably not, because when it came to the Oscars on, ABC, people just tuned in to YouTube and social media for the highlights. But the good thing that ABC has, right, was Good Morning America and the Oscars after party, right? Live with Kelly and Mark, but before that it was Live with Kelly and Ryan, and then Live with Kelly and Regis. No, Live with Kelly and Michael, and then Live with Kelly and Regis, where they would do the after Oscar show live from inside the Dolby Theater, literally the next morning, right? The View, I don't believe they ever did any Oscar, never did after Oscars coverage. Tamron Hall, I don't believe she's ever been to the Oscars, her talk show, that is, because remember Oprah would do a Oscars, special as well, right? So you had that engine to promote it, not to mention too, and I literally did this in Chat GPT of a Disney Oscars studio park, where if Disney would not have went with MGM Studios and they would have went with the Oscars, there would not be a need to bring in Walt Disney Animation, this, that, and the third, right? Because the Oscars and ABC, they would have had that. Now, personally, to me, I think that at this point it might be a little too late, but in the same token, remember how, for those of you who may not know, why Marvel is at Universal Orlando Resort, right? Specifically at Islands of Adventure, because Marvel gave the theme park rights in perpetuity for a particular design of Marvel characters. So while Disney owns the TV and movie rights to Marvel, Universal owns the theme park rights to Marvel. So if I'm Disney, and I really am seeing this movement of content creators, I'm seeing this movement of independent artists, I'm seeing this movement of, the fandom of, loving Hollywood, I would go to the Oscars and be like, hey, look, I know our Oscars deal is over, it's coming to, YouTube and stuff, but could we talk about theme park rights? That's what I would do, Disney, if I were y'all. Now, y'all ain't gonna be that smart and do that shit, so it's no point in wishing that, because Good Morning America should be live from Times Square, but it's in the basement of a glorified building named after oneself, the Robert A. Iger building. Okay, all right, let's roll on. Both Netflix and Paramount are locked in a fierce bout over Warner Brothers properties. Netflix has won the war. Paramount's trying to do a hostile takeover for $108 billion, and then Larry Ellison is trying to add like a $40 billion non-revocable guarantee to add his money to it. But it's like, no, Netflix won. Work with what y'all got. With each prepared to spend at least $80 billion to add a trove of movies and TV shows that would better position them against YouTube and everyone else. Netflix and others are also explicitly looking for more content that will get people to click on their apps more frequently in the morning or afternoon. Netflix is bringing at least 34 video podcasts to its service this year, including The Breakfast Club, The Bill Simmons Podcast, Part of My Take, and My Favorite Murder. In September, Amazon added Travis and Jason Kelsey's popular New Heights podcast to Amazon Prime Video. This is all an intentional strategy. Roughly 75% of all podcast listening happens between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. according to Edison, a research firm. YouTube said viewers watched 700 million hours of video podcasts on living room devices in October, a 75% increase from last year. And YouTube is also the number one platform for podcast listening, with a healthy lead over Spotify and Apple, as it said. Well, here's the thing with that, right? Because when you think of Spotify and Apple, most of the time, you can listen to podcasts on Spotify and Apple for free. Usually Apple, I think it's iTunes, although I think it's now Apple Music and iTunes don't exist anymore, which is sad, very sad, but that's neither here nor there. But if you want ad-free, you got to pay a subscription. But with YouTube, you ain't got to pay for nothing. You just type in Braylon's Virtual Tour Live, and it's there. So YouTube is the big kahuna engine of everything. It promotes it for you, so it's like on cruise control. Sean Downey, a top Google sales executive, said YouTube provided a steady stream of entertainment for viewers no matter what time they decided to click on. That's the kind of power. That is kind of the power of the platform. He said, we haven't thought about it as a daytime perspective. We thought about it as we have great content that people can resonate, that people can resonate with when they want to, rather. When they turn on their television, they will find exactly what they're looking for for that moment, for that meets the moment and the need they have. The platform, which is free and shows commercial, does feature nearly an endless supply of content to appeal to any interest, however niche. Matthew Lawrence, a 69-year-old who lives in Portland, Oregon, has been flipping to YouTube almost every day to help him guide him on a retirement project, improving his pool game. Mr. Lawrence found a wide collection of well-produced billiards competitions on YouTube. He said he commits at least an hour or two every day, either in the late morning or the afternoon, watching the competitions on his 65-inch TV screen before heading to a pool hall to practice. His game has improved significantly thanks to the videos. He said, "My mother would be deeply ashamed of me." He said, laughing, "I hear this voice inside me. You can't be watching TV during the day, but it's instructive. I'm learning something." Not all viewers are watching as intently. Over the years, daytime television's mix of talk shows, soap operas, cooking series, and easy entertainment like Judge Judy has induced a sort of casual viewing. People could move around the house or tackle chores, folding laundry, paying bills, tying up, with the TV providing ambient noise as the day passed. It seems that YouTube is serving a similar role. Lots of viewing is happening during the day on YouTube, but it's not very attentive viewing, said Holland Willis, a senior analyst at TV Vision, a research group. TV Vision conducts research by deploying a camera with permission at 5,000 households to see what people are watching during the day. YouTube's attention scores are generally much lower than nearly all premium streaming apps. TV Vision has found, suggesting that music playlists, programming for children, other sorts of background noise content helps drive its viewership. Some YouTube creators are committed to dropping new videos during the daytime. Good Mythical Morning, a comic variety show from the YouTube stars Brett McLaughlin and Link Neal, posts each weekday at 6 a.m. A recent poll of its viewers showed that the majority of people who tune in prefer to watch it when they are getting ready for school or work, during a lunch break, or to keep them company while doing other activities. Plenty of people also watch or listen to YouTube on devices other than a television screen, which is not included in the Nielsen ranking. Mr. Downing, the Google sales executive, said many creators have tapped into something that has existed for decades. People want to watch something entertaining in the morning. They're choosing YouTube and the creators on it because that's the most interesting, entertaining thing for them. He said that's a consumer-driven shift. It's a creator-driven shift. Other popular YouTube stars like Mr. Beast and Mark Rober post their videos on Saturday mornings. Michelle Carr, whose popular videos document challenges on training, training how to be a samurai, says she posts new videos on Saturday morning because she believes the app has replaced a programming block that used to be a staple of daytime television. That is true. Saturday morning cartoons, for sure. Lots of families watch YouTube together on the weekends. She said, you might even say that Saturday morning cartoons from decades ago are now Saturday morning YouTube. So, like I said, I found this article quite interesting, that YouTube and daytime TV are basically intertwined. I found that very interesting. Hey, my friend, good to see you. Hopefully all is well with you. Like I said, I found this very interesting because, like I said, we've been going live at 11 a.m. for some years now. This is our 4th year into live streaming, and I'm glad to be back for a whole new season of Braylon's Virtual Tour Live, and hopefully more blessings to come for the platform in the new year. But yeah, I do think that there is something powerful about being able to turn on your TV, your excuse me for a minute, your phone. Yeah, I had to get me a phone. I got me a Motorola. This is nice though, and let me tell you something. when it comes to tech, I don't know what it is, but you see how skinny this phone is, and you see how thick this phone is. You can tell that this is a phone. So yes, I got me a new phone, everybody. So you can consider this like a Christmas gift to myself. Then again, I needed a new phone because the charging port on the other one was just, bleh, you know what I mean? But I also am appreciative of the phone that I had because it got me through. Okay, but that charging port was on its way out. But like I said, it doesn't account for the viewing, doesn't account for your phone, which a lot of people do mobile viewing. They do a lot of YouTube viewing on their phone. The tablet, of course. Don't forget about the Nook from Barnes and Nobles. Shout out to Barnes and Nobles, by the way. They've been having a comeback in a bunch of ways. Then, of course, the iPad, the Kindle, Samsung tablets as well, Android tablets. So you gotta remember that as well, because there are people like this Ling who, work out and they'll have YouTube on their tablet, right? Not to mention, too, you gotta think about Peloton. Right, you got to think about Peloton and all the gyms that now have these connected machines that literally you can watch YouTube as you're working out on the treadmill. So yeah, it is quite interesting how the creator economy is expanding itself to be able to give you different ways to be able to see all your favorite content creators. And like I said, I think the main reason why I did 11 a.m. was because I looked at the other time slots, right? At 9 a.m., I'm like, no, that's okay. No. Then I thought 10 a.m., no. But then 11 a.m., I'm like, you know what? 11 a.m. is perfect because it is that sweet spot, right? Let's just say that you're still asleep. But you need to know what's going on. 11 a.m. is the time slot for everybody else just waking up, right? So I always say Good Morning America is where you go. At least for me, Good Morning America is where you go for all the news you need to know. And then 11 a.m. is for everybody else that missed GMA, right? So I consider myself my own show, but also I consider myself a companion show for anything else that you're watching in the morning, right? So because there's the morning edition and then there's the evening edition. So with that being said, I want to show y'all this here. Here's the graph right here. This is according to Nielsen. So at 11 a.m., YouTube is dominating. Netflix is not, but at 9 p.m. right there, right? It's kind of right there, right? So I thought this was interesting to also bring up here. From this website called Net Influencer. Thought leaders bet on YouTube sponsorships and why CEO David Timmer thinks long-form content still wins. Okay, this was posted today. David Timmer is building a business around a deliberate bet that high-quality long-form YouTube content can remain both economically viable and broadly accessible if advertising works differently. David is the co-founder and CEO of Thought Leaders, a fully bootstrapped company focused exclusively on YouTube sponsorships. Founded in 2017, headquartered in Tel Aviv, Thought Leaders operates across software, media buying, career representation with a stated mission to incentivize and encourage high-quality, long-form content for all. The company's scope is intentionally narrow but operationally deep. Thought Leaders reports facilitate more than $55 million in sponsorship deals, work with hundreds of brands annually, and exclusively represent more than 100 YouTube channels on sponsorship sales. Rather than position itself as a generic influencer marketplace, the company has built a YouTube-specific sponsorship platform paired with managed services for both creators and brands. David's conviction is rooted in both his firsthand experience as a creator and what he views as a structural flaw in how digital advertising has changed. From career frustration to a sponsorship-first thesis. Before Thought Leaders, David was already embedded in online publishing. Starting in 2012, he ran a design development-focused blog, newsletter, podcast, and educational content business. The audience was relatively small by mass media standards, but highly influential, focusing on decision-makers at companies like Google and Apple, who subscribe to in-depth business-oriented content. The problem, he recalls, was not reach but monetization. We would get paid maybe 2.5 cents for an impression. David says, despite knowing that a single article or episode could influence enterprise software purchases worth tens of tens of thousands of dollars over time. Banner ads and impression-based models optimized for scale failed to reflect the value of niche high-intent audiences. What emerged was a more direct approach. David began contacting the tools and services he already used and writing about them in exchange for payment, what the industry now broadly calls sponsorships. If you can't make money from the work you're doing, at some point you can't do the work anymore. He says it becomes a hobby. That realization would become the foundation of thought leaders, not simply to help creators earn more, but ensure that certain kinds of content remain economically sustainable. While sponsorships and not traditional ads anchor the model, David is careful not to frame sponsorships as a rejection of existing ad systems. Instead, he argues they solve a different problem. Traditional digital advertising, he says, is largely built on behavioral tracking users across the web, and serving ads disconnected from what they are actively consuming. Sponsorships, by contrast, are contextual by design. When an ad is a part of the content, actually makes sense there. It's a win for the brand creator and the audience. David explains the creator wants to work on the ad, but the audience is annoying. The brand gets better performance. So let's, because I want to show y'all something. So I've been using this type of example for a while. So let me go to this right here. So let me see, where is it? No, I need the channel. So right here, right? KFC. They have never went live, ladies and gentlemen. They never went live. So imagine me doing Braylon's virtual tour live, or Braylon's virtual tour of the show, and I'm eating KFC, right? And let's just say for that sponsored stream or that branded sponsored stream that I'm getting paid $1,000. And let's just say they want me to do 5 editions of Braylon's virtual tour for $1,000 on 5 Fridays, right? That's $5,000 in 1 month from KFC, just by me eating KFC on stream, right? So I do believe that long form content, whether it is a video podcast, whether it's a show like this, entertainment news talk show type of platform, or whether you are doing an interview show, a game show, what have you, I think those types of formats are going to be more of a trending increase, are going to be trending upward. That's what I meant to say, trending upward in 2026. Because like I said, KFC has never went live before. Ever. So yeah, let's get back to it. Right here. David explains the creator wants to work on the app because the audience is annoying. The brand gets better performance. I read that twice. This framing is central to thought leaders' positioning. Sponsorships are not meant to replace AdSense or other monetization streams, but to sit alongside them, expand the creator's overall revenue mix rather than reallocating it. I don't just want to make this pie smaller, just move money around, David says. I want the pie to get bigger. Bootstrapping as a strategic choice. Thought leaders operating philosophy was shaped by David's earlier startup experience. Before founding the company, he co-founded TapDog, a competitive intelligence platform later acquired by SimilarWeb. That business followed more of a traditional venture-backed path, one David says he was not eager to repeat. Thought leaders bootstrapping was a deliberate decision. Everything we do has to be funded by customers willing to pay for it, he says. That's the only proof that it's actually valuable. Rather than building software isolation, the company first launched as a media agency, places placing account managers alongside engineers. That product development was directly informed by day-to-day sponsorship execution. Talent agency file represented creators while also acting as a power user of the same internal tools. The structure persists today. Thought Leaders operates across three tightly connected pillars: a YouTube sponsorship software platform, a media agency service for brands, and a talent agency representing creators. All three data and operational insight back into the same system. A focus on YouTube and nothing else. While many creator economy companies pursue multi-platform extension, Thought Leaders has moved in the opposite direction, narrowing its scope to YouTube sponsorships alone. That sounds small to people, David says, but YouTube is organic. He points to YouTube's role as the world's largest podcast platform, a dominant force in news, sports, education, entertainment, and a rare example of a platform that consistently rewards long-form content financially. A key differentiator in his view is YouTube's revenue share model. Through the YouTube Partner Program, creators receive 55% of ad revenue, a structure David believes directly incentivizes quality and consistency. They built a system where the way to get people to make content is to pay them for it, he says. That emphasis, however, is not something he takes for granted. David remains cautious about YouTube's push into shorts and the platform's growing reliance on short-form revenue, warning that any erosion of long-term incentives could undermine what makes YouTube distinct. How Thought Leaders works for brands. On the brand side, Thought Leaders positions its value around two core problems. First is access. According to David, brands often struggle to generate enough inbound sponsorship proposals to meaningfully compare options. Without volume, budgets get allocated by default rather by strategy. The second is vetting. David notes that even with proposals in hand, brands lack standardized ways to evaluate pricing, on fit, or performance. Thought Leaders address this through a platform built specifically for sponsorship buying. Through metrics such as projected 30-day views for upcoming videos and detailed sponsorship histories that reveal whether brands return to the same channels repeatedly. The only proof that matters is whether they come back and buy again, David says. The platform is paired by managed services with account managers embedded onto brand teams. Crucially, Thought Leaders operates with what it describes as radical transparency. Clients see the same data or data the company sees, and fees are clearly disclosed to both brands and creators. Professionalizing sponsorships for creators. For creators, Thought Leaders runs what it calls the Thought Leaders Partner Program. So we're going to pull up Thought Leaders here because I do want to see this. Oh, of course. You gotta be in the top 5% of creators, ladies. But let's go. A curated network of channels that meet operational pricing standards. To participate, creators must demonstrate professionalism, such as meeting deadlines, providing drafts, reviews, disclosing sponsorships properly, and agree to pricing that aligns with what Thought Leaders defines as a fair appraisal value. The market is the Wild West, David says. Pricing is all over the place, and operationally, a lot goes wrong. The goal, he adds, is not to commoditize creators, but to reduce friction that prevents long-term brand relationships from forming. In mature sponsorship ecosystems, David argues repeated partnerships matter more than one-off deals. Measuring success beyond views, while impressions and views remain relevant, Thought Leaders clients overwhelmingly prioritize performance. Most campaigns are structured around measurable outcomes such as installs, signups, or purchases. To support attribution, campaigns incorporate multiple mechanisms: QR codes for TV viewers, URLs, create specific discount codes, pin comments, and post-purchase surveys that ask customers where they heard about product. Still, David acknowledges attribution remains imperfect, especially for brands selling through retail channels, but argues that clearer processes and creator endorsements significantly improves outcomes. When a creator explains to their audience why their code matters, people understand. He says they know it helps the creator make the partnership sustainable. Maturity as the next phase of the creator economy. When it comes to what the next phase of the creator economy will look like, David emphasizes operations over tools. Software alone, he points out, can't fix misaligned expectations between brands and creators. Maturity means creators understanding corporate review processes, timelines, and compliance requirements. And brands recognize when they are working with professional partners rather than treating all creators as interchangeable. There's a real business happening here, David says. When it works, it's in everyone's interest. As Thought Leaders enter into 2026, the focus shifts from platform expansion to execution. The company plans to significantly scale sponsorship sales internally by targeting It's currently targeting a doubling of 2025 revenue while continuing to deepen brand relationships, carefully grow its roster, and remain exclusively focused on YouTube. Perhaps notably, David does not frame European agencies or platforms as a primary threat. Our competition isn't other YouTube sponsorship companies. He says its brand society, YouTube doesn't work in moving their budget somewhere else. For David, ensuring YouTube sponsorships deliver consistent, repeatable value is not just a business objective, it's central to preserving the economic conditions that enable long-form content to exist. I want to live in a world where people are making high-quality long-form content that's educational and accessible. He says advertising done the right way is how we get there. So like I said, this is very interesting to me because I do believe that long-form content is definitely going to be the future of YouTube. I remember the Silva, shout out to her. She said that live streaming is like the redhead stepchild, but they definitely are pushing out more live streams because live streaming, which has been around for a long time. I mean, there was, I think the Live Leak, I think if I'm not mistaken, of course, Ustream as well. So being able to see, what it is with live streams and the versatility of it is amazing. So like I said, let's just say that I had a Moto live stream, right? And that's when I'm broadcasting stuff from my phone, my Moto phone, onto my screen, right? I'm using my mobile phone for the whole show. Motorola could pay me for this, right? Imagine Motorola sent content creators out a free phone and they just used it for, hey, everybody, I'm live on the scene, I'm live from Comic-Con with Motorola, right? So, like I said, and vertical live streams are a thing as well. So here it is here, right here. So only 33.4% of applicants pass. Then right here, working with a channel, 0.1% of applicants pass. Campaign performance, 10.5% of applicants pass. And then 6.8% of applicants pass of understanding each creator's goals. And then 5% maintain. 5% of applicants pass. So as you can see, identifying top performers is not the problem, but it's maintaining high standards that's the problem, right? So I do find that very interesting, and I do think that, and here's how YouTube sponsorships work here. So you go in and you get proposals. It's a $50 million worth of sponsorships, 25,000 collaborations. So they offer YouTube agency services. So if you are a brand and you're looking for an agency to handle, reaching out to content creators, there's that. And then, of course, a robust data platform that they can use that data to make the best decisions. And I do believe that like I said, there's a lot of sponsorship platforms, right? There's a lot of them. I think the biggest thing that YouTube, agencies are going to have to do eventually is they're also going to have to go by total views, right? Because while it's great to have 1 million subscribers, it's great to have 100,000 subscribers, right? Even 50,000. What about the people that's got 10,000, right? What about the people that, for example, myself, I got 3,348 subscribers, and as of right now, we go to our channel here, right here it is, 987,172 total views. I think total view count is going to matter a lot more to brands, right? Because, like I said, subscribers, they are very important, right? Viewership is just as important, but that total view number of, oh my God, okay, this content creator is at 900,000 views. This content creator is at 1 million views. This content creator is at 10. Now, of course, if you get 10 million views, 100 million views, you're good. But what do you do with the niche creators that They're not big enough to be swallowed up by the marketplace, and they're not small enough that they can't be not seen, but they're right there in the middle. They have traction, but what brands want to work with them? So I think that's going to be very important moving forward there. Now, here's something that you may not know about, right? This is from Content Grip. While social media follower counts no longer matter in 2026. Now, this is a big swing to say this, right? As algorithmic feeds take over, creators are building trust through new playbooks from Discord, clipping squad to fan-funded niches. Social media used to reward the hustle of building a massive following, not anymore. As platforms double down on algorithmic curation, creators are learning a new truth. Follower counts don't guarantee reach. Engagement doesn't mean visibility. This article explores the shifting landscape of the creator economy, where algorithms, AI distrust, artificial intelligence distrust, and fragmentation are forcing creators and marketers to rethink everything. Discord, fuel, clipping squads, the trust-based monetization models. Here's how the most strategic players are adapting. So, the fall of the follower count, while trust is outperforming reach. Inside the rise of Discord, clipping squads, how niche creators are winning the long game and what marketers should know. So right here, the fall of the follower count. In 2025, algorithms officially won. So says LTK CEO Amber Box, who argues that follower counts now have little to no impact on content distribution. The feed is king and no longer cares who follows you. Right? That it's a big swing to say that, because you think, hey, 1 million subscribers would be something. But now they're saying that it's about the quality, not the quantity, although we've been saying that for a long time over here, but that's neither here nor there. This is a new revelation for creators. Patreon CEO Jack Conti and others have long warned of the shift, but now the fallout is visible across platforms. Creators post and their followers might never see it. As a result, creators are chasing new forms of engagement, often outside traditional social feeds. While trust is outperforming reach, the upside, the trust in creators is actually rising. A study by LTK at Northwestern University found that consumer trust in creators jumped 21% year over year, despite growing awareness of monetization tactics and platform manipulation. Box credits this unexpected trust boost to AI fatigue. Now, y'all remember when Milagro Grams was so upset about her not being on the Hot 97 list, right? And giving that backhanded compliment to Armand Wiggins and then counting like a female dog, of going off and saying that I'm not going to give you any compliments, this, that, and the third, right? And there's been this AI war for a while now. We got AI directors making full-length AI movies. We got AI actors and actresses that are getting seen by talent agencies, creative arts agencies, William Morris Endeavor, United Talent Agency, right? You also have AI music artists that are reaching the Billboard charts. I think one got like, what, $3 million deal? Yeah. You also have AI hosts on this platform called Roxy, ROXI, that are introducing music videos and interviewing, people and stuff like that. So if it's not one thing, it's another. And I will keep saying, will always say that scene at the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Willy Wonka edition, where Charlie's dad had to come in at the end and fix the toothpaste machine because it broke down and nobody knew how to fix it. As algorithmic content floods feeds, artists are gravitating toward creators they know, trust, and believe are still human. AI pushed people to rotate trust to real humans with real life experiences. She said this shift is influencing marketing budgets too. The same study shows that 97% of chief marketing officers plan to increase investment through influencer marketing in 2026. Then the authenticity will cut through the algorithmic noise. And we also talked about entertainment marketing as well here on the channel. So, like I said, that's why I say a lot happens early over here. Inside the rise of Discord clipping squads, with social media reach no longer tied to follower-sized creators again, scrappy. One set out tactic hiring teenage clipping armies on Discord to flood platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels with short, high-impact clips. According to Carrot Financial co-founder Eric Wee, major names like Drake and Costa now already use this approach. Creators pay these teams to extract viral moments from their content and distribute them across algorithmic-driven feeds, often unrelated random accounts that don't need a following to gain traction. Clipping feels like an evolution of meme accounts, said Glenn Ginsberg of Q Media. It's a race to get the most views on the same intellectual property. The virality is decentralized, but the benefits funnel back to the rich creator. The impact, still, the model has limits. Knight founder Reed Undersure, which, by the way, if you don't know what Knight's about, it's like a content career agency or like a content career label. They're just signing all these content careers, and then it's like, okay, here's an overall deal for $100 million. What the fuck you want to do with it? Who helped build Mr. Beast's empire and now matches Casanat was the scaling tactic for broader media budgets is difficult. There's only so many clippers on the internet. Clipping may be a clever workaround, but if it comes to comment, it risks becoming yet another form of algorithmic slop. How niche creators are winning the long game, with macro creators struggling to maintain reach across random feed. Niche creators are thriving. The more specific the audience, the better the algorithmic conservative. LTK's box sites a broader trend. People are abandoning bloated feeds for real communities. Over half of social users spend time on niche platforms like Strava, LinkedIn, or Substack, where interaction feels more personal, less performative. Future agrees. He predicted macro creators like Mr. Beast and Char D'Amelio will be hard to replicate. Instead, creators with sharp, narrow focuses like Alex Earl or outdoor boards are poised to dominate their own coins on the internet. Shauna Aikens of Darmar Studios puts the best career comedy is like the internet or artificial intelligence is going to affect everything. His example, Epic Garden, the career-led brand, now owns the third largest seed company in the United States. What marketers should know: this career economy reset has major implications for marketers. Number one, stop optimizing for follow count. Social reach is now algorithmic, focus on careers with engaged audiences, not inflated numbers. And like I said, that's where before is going to be potentially about, okay, first of all, how many videos have you done, right? Because depending on how many videos you've done goes to showcase the credibility you have in actually doing it. Of course, subscriber count will still be a huge part, but won't be the main reason why people get deals. And I do think that for careers that, they've gotten to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, that 3,000 to 5,000 range there, or that 3,000 to 10,000 subscriber count, brands is going to start reaching out to them, because it's like, okay, well, if we just give them, a 5 deal of, how can I put it? Let's just say we give Braylon Lee a deal for 5 live streams, and we pay him $750 to do those 5 live streams, $750 each. If he does that well, then maybe we can pay him more, and then we can pay him more, and then we can pay him more. So I do think that the 3,000 to 10,000 subscriber count will definitely begin more play in the new year, and they should. They should. Number 2, bet on trust first careers. Careers who maintain credibility often and authenticity are more valuable than ever, especially in an AI-drenched landscape. Explore clipping partnerships. This is number 3. Some careers are building virality through Discord. Clipping squads partnering with these teams could be a strong distribution move, especially for video content. But then you got to think about platforms like StreamYard and Restream. And of course, Opus Clip, that they already do AI clipping, right? They already do that. So, and plus, not only that, when you think about these clipping squads, right? Unless you're a Casanat or Mr. Beast, and got the money to pay these people, most people don't got the money to pay clipping squads. Just keeping it a buck. Because, like Empire said, whenever he's on vacation, y'all, it's just me. Right? So there is that there. Diversity beyond mainstream platforms, niche communities on LinkedIn, Substack, and vertical specific platforms are becoming brand safe havens for deeper engagement. Number 5, prepare for content saturation. Slop content is becoming a real concern. Balance frequent resonates by supporting creators who produce intentional high-quality content, even in short form. The creator economy isn't dying, it's evolving. Just like when people say television's dying, no, it's evolving. Your TV is Google now. Radio is not dying, it's evolving. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but this year, content creators like myself will be able to upload your video podcast to the iHeartMedia platform. So I'll be able to upload the episodes Braylon's Retro Tour Live to the iHeartRadio platform. And not to mention too, I get to keep profit. Right? We talked about that on Braylon's Retro Tour Live. So like I said, with iHeartMedia making that jump, I would not be surprised if some of these radio stations transform into, you know what? I'll show you that. Because I do believe there could be a solution for all this, especially when it comes to radio stations. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Because like I said, radio's not going away at all. Because that's how your favorite music artists get their royalty checks. That's how the music industry tracks who's good and who's not by radio. And radio is a promotional vehicle. And radio has been around longer than TV. So, like, come on, y'all. Like, I know that people are going to streaming, but guess what? The Breakfast Club is on radio. The video podcast is just another way to experience the Breakfast Club, right? The career economy isn't dying, it's evolving. Marketers who cling to legacy metrics like follower counts risk missing the new playbook. When in 2026 mean understand the new content flows, bet on trust, and meeting audiences wherever authenticity still cuts through. So this article is created by humans with AI assistants, powered by Content Grow, ready to explore full service content solutions starting $2,000 a month. Book a discovery call today. So let me go to that there real quick. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. One moment here, everybody. We're gonna do this live. This is gonna be interesting. This. Oh, I need to spell right. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Because what I'm about to unleash this morning on y'all with iHeartMedia, I think really could change the game. Okay. There we go. While that is going, let's go to this here. Now, for those of you who don't know, check this out from TV Insider. Will the daytime Emmys ever return to TV Inside the Future of the Award Show. Now, this came out October 21st, 2025, right? This is an exclusive, by the way. Every major soap eligible for a 2025 Daytime Emmy Award, The Bold Beautiful Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, The Young and the Restless. I believe this year, Beyond the Gates will be eligible. So let's hope Beyond the Gates wins a Daytime Emmy Award. Walked away with at least one of these statues at the Friday, October 17th award ceremony, but alas, the show wasn't seen on a major network. The 52nd annual event, which are the best and brightest in daytime television program for the year 2024, was not broadcast on TV, but rather on the Emmys official platform and online. TV Insider chatted with Adam Sharp, the president and CEO of the National Academy for Television Arts and Sciences, not just about the possibility of the show ever getting back on broadcast television. We'll see how it goes. Sharp tells TV Insider it's an evolving conversation, certainly an evolving marketplace. Having our deal come up with CBS at the same time of their merger was not just timing. It's possible that the window of conversation will open under new management, but at the same time, we have to acknowledge that it's a different marketplace for viewers. There is Deborah Norville with her Emmy there. Producers kept the streaming awards under 3 hours, which Sharp says was the goal. While many feel the broadcast is the preferred platform award show that honors programs on television, Sharp does recognize the pros of presenting the awards via streaming. One nice thing about owning the platform and not having affiliates to apologize to for going over is that there's not a hard out. So a hard out is once it's 10 o'clock, that's it, it's over. Sharp points out, but if you want to respect the audience, a 3 hour point is a bit of a traditional time limit for an award show. Not just partner with Access Hollywood for a highlight special. It's an idea that may catch on future years. Maybe this allows us to package things in every way. Sharp suggests look at the late night talk shows. The linear audience isn't necessarily primary focus the way it once was. The majority of the audience for the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is not watching the linear broadcast. They're watching segments on YouTube. While the daytime Emmys bring the entire community together on award show night, Sharp is aware that viewers have niche interests. Is there a world where the linear ceremony is targeted to the in-room audience, the executive uses, and there is, for example, a 30-minute edited soap show that's packaged for one audience, a 30-minute edited culinary awards presentation for another audience. They could be tailored to the fragmented narrowcast model that a lot of the artists get their content from. It certainly will be different. Guess we'll have to wait and see what the future brings. So there is there. And wanted to showcase this here. Watch the Emmys right here. So here it is here. Right here. You can watch on iPhone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku TV, and Fire TV. And right here, this is where you can watch the Emmys, the official viewing platform for the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. You can watch all of our live Emmy events, past events, winner interviews, behind-the-scenes features. Sign up now. It's quick, easy, and free. So this is the site here. Of course, you can browse. So here's the 76th Annual Technology and Engineering Emmys, National Student Production Awards, Lone Star Emmys, because there's regional Emmy awards, right? Daytime Emmys here. 68th Annual New York Emmy Awards, News and Emmy Docs there. Sports Emmys, Children and Family Emmys, Northwest Television Trailblazers and Diversity. So this is the home where you can watch all the Emmy Awards, right? This is where you can watch all of them. The Ohio Valley, right there, Suncoast Emmys, Lone Star Emmys, Rocky Mountain Southwest, Upper Midwest, New York Emmys, Heartland Emmys, Central Great Lakes, Capital Emmys, memorable moments, right? So it would be interesting if this platform started to allow content creators, right? Because y'all do know I pitched the Content Creator Emmy Awards, right? So imagine if, you won a Content Creator Emmy Award and they brought your Content Creating Emmy Award series to watch.theemmys.tv, right? could be interesting, especially for the Content Creator Emmy Awards, which should be a thing. And I should host it, okay, because I'm the one that pitched it. From Variety.com, Jenny McCarthy developing the daytime talk show podcast hybrid for Warner Brothers Telepictures. This is an exclusive. Jenny McCarthy has hosted talk shows and she's hosted podcasts. Now she's aiming to do both at the same time. Variety has learned that McCarthy is developing a daytime talk show via podcast hybrid for the Warner Brothers TV group. Operates syndicated TV label Telepictures, Jennifer Hudson, and Extra. Jennifer Hudson show, rather, Extra. The Jenny McCarthy series is being developed as 170 half-hour episodes, but to be produced in the style of a video podcast, but pitched to the market as a daytime talk show. So does this mean that like Jenny McCarthy is going to be like in a studio with microphones and stuff? It's not going to be like a live audience, because a talk show is a live audience. It's a set. You know what? Let me bring up that set, because this is where I get pissed off, right? Because if you're only doing 30 minutes, that's not a real talk show. I mean, do what you want to do, but I'm just, oh my god, child. Just give me a moment. Okay, let me do Ellen. So here is the Ellen DeGeneres talk show set, right? And this is where I'm getting a little bit heated with Jenny McCarthy, because look, right here, this is a talk show set right here, right there. That's a talk show set. Okay, there's the entrance for the celebrity. You got the big screen and everything. Like this is a talk show set. Okay, this is what it is. And I guess the reason why I am getting a little pissed off is because you're pitching it as a talk show, but it's only going to be on for 30 minutes. In television, that's about 25 minutes, right? So, and I only say that because I did floor directing. I was a floor manager, rather, for TV too. So we did a 30-minute newscast. It felt like 10 to me because I was producing so much. I'm like, okay, get over here. All right, your segment's coming up. Okay, script change, rundown change. Like, so, yeah. So is she gonna be in just a podcast studio? Is that where the podcast, going to come from there? Because a talk show is this. Okay, is this. But let's get back to it, child. Right here, the daytime talker / podcast hybrid, which will feature McCarthy sharing celebrity gossip, sharing advice, telling stories, and talking to celebrity guests, experts, everyday people, and viewer call-ins. Episodes will center on a daily theme, cued to something McCarthy is passionate about, while segments will also focus on human interest stories, viral trends, self-help, beauty, and wellness. Also, part of the pitch, McCarthy's husband, Boston Blue star Donnie Wahlberg, will also will appear in recurring segments. Telepictures will produce the show, while McCarthy is on board as an executive producer. McCarthy is no stranger to daytime. She spent a year as a co-host on ABC's The View from 2013 to 2014. Before that, she also hosted the Pop Culture Talker, the Jenny McCarthy Show on VH1. In the radio podcast world, she hosted a daily Sirius XM series, also called the Jenny McCarthy Show, for 6 years. McCarthy helps co-host the annual Dick Clark Studios Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. She no longer does that, and also has been a host of the American Music Awards. Of course, right now she may be best known for as a judge and star of Fox's mega hit celebrity singing competition, The Masked Singer, which she's been part of since the 2019 premiere, where she is billed as Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg. Her lengthy list of TV credits also includes Singled Out, Jenny, The Drew Carey Show, Less Than Perfect, The Bad Girls Guide, and 2.5 Men. McCarthy and hubby Wahlberg appeared as themselves in Wahlburgers and Donnie Loves Jenny. in which she also produced. McCarthy is a New York Times bestselling author who has read 9 books and as an entrepreneur, has created and launched Blondie's line of gluten-free ready-to-drink cocktails and the cosmetics line Formless Beauty. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I don't know if that's really going to hit the market like she thinks, because it's only 30 minutes. So why would advertisers hook themselves to a 30-minute podcast? Like, now for Entertainment Tonight, that's a bit different. It's 30 minutes, but it's a brand that has credibility. Talk shows usually are about an hour long. 30-minute podcasts or 30-minute talk shows, it's basically 10, but that's neither nor there, like I said. Now, I wanted to bring something to y'all attention, right? So remember how I said that iHeartMedia could do something with, content creators and pop culture and this, that, and the third? Sorry, y'all. God. I'm just at my place, like. Okay, good. As much as I could off. I'm so sorry, y'all. Was born. Or now afternoon, child. Afternoon. Okay, I think I got it all off. We good. We Gucci. Okay, so here it is here. Right here. So, iHeartMedia could use this right here. Below is a full enterprise-ready framework iHeartMedia could use to launch a scalable entertainment media pop culture radio format designed to specifically revitalize underperforming music format stations while also creating a new national intellectual property that integrates radio, digital podcasts, and live events and social culture. So here's the iHeartMedia brand plan: entertainment media pop culture radio format. Working brand names: iHeart Pop Culture Radio, iHeart Entertainment Network, iHen, iHeart Now, iHeart Culture, iHeart Trending. File name can be market tested. Plan is format agnostic. So, brand plan. Number 1, brand purpose. To become the daily audio destination for what's happening now: entertainment, media, fandom, and culture across Hollywood, streaming, gaming, creators, sports, adjacent entertainment, social media. Brand promise: if it's trending, breaking, or shaping culture, you'll hear it first. Brand positioning: not music radio, not news radio, not talk radio, it's culture radio. Fast, social, personality-driven, platform aware. Target audience: primary ages 18 to 34, digital native, socially connected, heavy consumers to streaming content, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, podcast, pop culture news. Secondary, 35 to 49, cord cutters, entertainment first listeners. Brand personality: smart but fun, inclusive, internet fluent, fast moving, career friendly, opinionated but not political. Number 2, brand game plan, format and programming strategy. Format type: entertainment media pop culture radio, a clock-based format that can plug into underperforming contemporary hits radio, adult contemporary rhythmic, urban alternative, and urban adult contemporary. Now, I'm gonna just say this before anybody gets on to me: R&B still matters. So I do believe R&B stations and adults, urban AC radio stations, hip hop stations still matter. So I just want that to be known. This is not replacing anything. If anything, it's expanding the tent. Okay. And plus, I feel like iHeartMedia is probably going to do something like this down the line anyway. So at least you guys got to hear it first. Core content pillars: number 1, entertainment news, 40% movies, TV streaming, music culture, not just spins, celebrity headlines. Number 2, career economy, TikTok trends, YouTubers, influencers, Twitch and gaming culture. Number 3, fandom culture, 15% Marvel, DC, Star Wars, anime, gaming, reality, TV fandoms. Interactive listener content, 15% call-ins, voice notes, polls, and social reactions. And 5 sponsor segments, 10% brand integrations or studio takeovers. So here is how the sample daily programming grid will work. 6 to 10 a.m., the culture wake up, entertainment news, social trends, viral moments recap. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. now trending, deep dives, career interviews, social commentary. 2 to 6 pop culture drive, live interaction, fan debates, breaking news. 6 to 10 p.m. after hours, reality TV recap, streaming, watch along audio, fan call-ins, overnights and weekends, podcast replays, specialty shows, live event coverage. Number 3, marketing plan, launch strategy, phase 1. Format flip, announcements of the newest coming, countdown stunts, celebrity voice teases. Phase 2, national rollout, press release via iHeartMedia, podcast network cross promotion, talent led social launches. Phase 3, community activation, local influencers as contributors, listener voice notes featured on air, pop culture watch parties, digital first application, TikTok and Reels, clips daily, YouTube studio cams, podcast versions of all shows. Newsletter, the Daily Culture Drop, talent strategy, national flagship host, local co-host per market, career contributors, rotating celebrity correspondents, advertising strategy, high value category, streaming platforms, film studios, gaming companies, tech brands, automotive, QSR, that's fast food, everybody, fashion and beauty, ad products, sponsor headlines, branded host segments, live reintegrations, event sponsorships, podcast network extensions, concept plan, why this works, stations, music discovery has moved to streaming, culture conversation has moved to online, radio can now own live real-time conversation. This format reduces music licensing costs, which costs a pretty penny. Shout out to BMI and ASCAP for that. Increased talk engagement, it easily extends to podcast video, builds talent IP versus song rotation dependency, flagship show concepts trending in 10, alley culture headlines, career call up rather, weekly influencer interviews, fan take Friday, listener debates, watch party radio, live TV / audio campaign, and internet versus reality, virtually versus reality, viral myths debunked, live events and extensions, iHeart Pop Culture Awards, fan conventions, red carpet audio coverage, career meetups, studio audience tapings, logistics plans, station conversion requirements, minimal studio upgrades, existing talk infrastructure works, podcast recording setup recommended, social video cameras installed, staffing model per market, 1 program director, 2 to 3 hosts, 1 digital producer, shared news entertainment desk, national central editorial team, talent booking, social media command center, content pipeline, daily rundown from national desk, local inserts per hour, syndication rate, content blocks, podcast conversion automatically, monetization statistics, national ad inventory, local sponsorship packages, branded podcast spinoffs, live event ticketing, success metrics, time spent listening, social engagement, podcast downloads, advertiser demand, market lift versus prior music format, big picture vision. This becomes the ESPN of entertainment culture. iHeart's answer to digital pop culture media, talent incubation engine, a bridge between radio, podcast careers, and live events. There it is. So, like I said, wanted to come on this morning and give you guys that. I think that, quite frankly, if iHeartMedia did this, boom, bang, boom. I truly believe that without a shadow of a doubt. I'm just looking to see if there's anything new on my phone in terms of notification. Nope, not really. Okay. So I'm going to turn off my camera now because we've done the whole show for an hour. Yes, we have. Like I said, I wanted to come to y'all with something fresh and new for the first show of the year for the weekday version, right? Because we're usually on weekdays with our regular shows, our after show review shows, and things of that energy. And I do believe that iHeartMedia definitely could bring this format to the masses. Armand Wiggins was on that list for Hot 97, which Hot 97, they're expanding it to, Hot 97 TV in Atlanta, right? So Hot 97 is trying to make themselves a entertainment brand, which means they will have to expand their focus beyond hip hop. Hip hop won't leave, but they will be expanded beyond hip hop. So that is my take on all of this. So with that being said, we'll take a little commercial break and we'll be back. More Brothers Working for Live right after this. We are live on tour. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be back right after this rolling.
Lights go low, the city goes high. Stories untold under moonlit skies. Braylon got the vibe, got the flow for the culture. Yeah, you already know. Turn it up, lean back, feel the breeze. Late night truths drifting through the trees. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Headlines flip with a soulful twist. Behind the scenes where the magic sits. It's the heartbeat of the now and the then, where the story starts and never ends. Tune in, lean and feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Hear the whispers in the city's hum. Echoes of stories where we're from. A beat, a step, a voice so clear. The pulse of us, it's all right here. We got soul, we got flavor. Every moment is a savior. Every experience is an overcomer. Turn it up, feel the glow, let the rhythm flow. Spotlight shining, we in the zone. This is the place where the culture's grown. Stories untold, now they're coming alive. Braylon got the vibe tonight. One thing to know and two things for sure. Higher is waiting and lower is available. But either way, we gotta go on tour. It's Braylon Lee's virtual tour, where the culture makes its move. Feel the love, feel the truth. This is us, this is you. From the unknown, the unembraced and more. This show, this brand and the possibilities of what can be is all here for you. I'm just a kid from the rock, trying to be a rock for people, trying to make it best they can to become. Being moved as a creator of power, to lift up all of us, not just a selective few. For the culture, by the culture, here we be, Braylon Lee, bringing life to your screen. Feel the soul, feel the truth, we're free, trust and believe. It's entertainment, news done away with. Braylon Lee, spotlight sharp like a diamond shine. We see the stars, but the stories align. Deep in the soul where the heartbeats find. The pulse of the people redefining time. Just a pro tip, people have to earn the right to hear your story, but in addition to that, people have to earn the responsibility to be a part of it. Just because we are not seen by everybody doesn't mean we are not been seen by who needs to see us. Noise equals attention and sound equals purpose. Anybody can be a creator, but it takes a somebody to be an artist.
Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward,
with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
In Disney's 102-year history, there have been many defining moments and countless achievements. Today, we celebrate another thrilling moment, the creation of a spectacular new Disney theme park resort coming to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi is a place where heritage meets innovation, a place where we preserve our past while designing the future.
Bringing a Disney theme park resort to Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, marks a historic milestone in our journey as a global family destination.
The 7th Disney theme park resort destination represents a new frontier in theme park ambitions. Our resort in Abu Dhabi will be the most advanced and interactive destination in our entire portfolio. The location of our park is incredibly unique. It's anchored by a beautiful waterfront, which will allow us to tell our stories in completely new ways. Ultimately, this project will be a celebration of what's possible when creativity and progress come together.
What we are creating with Disney in Abu Dhabi is a whole new world of imagination and experience that will inspire generations across the region and the world.
This collaboration represents a powerful fusion of Disney's unmatched legacy in storytelling and mirrors commitment to bringing world-class entertainment to our guests.
Abu Dhabi's vision for the future is to create a legacy for generations to come.
Disneyland Abu Dhabi will be authentically Disney and distinctly Emirati. An oasis of extraordinary Disney entertainment at this crossroads of the world. It will bring to life our timeless characters and stories in many new ways, becoming a source of joy and inspiration for the people of this vast region to enjoy for generations to come.
Come with me if you want to live a more delicious life.
Oh, maybe we should get in the van.
In this world, we don't get to control much. Past, male pattern baldness.
Leggies.
Got one right now. The urge to puff that bubble wrap. But there is one thing we do get to choose every single day. What we eat. Welcome to the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment. We have everything you want, didn't know you wanted, and some things you didn't know were possible. Because we believe if you're not having fun, you're not living free. So come on, let's live a little.
Caesar. Just look at him. Politician, general, author, ruler, man. Legend has it, he's not only stared into the belly of the beast, he's had it for dinner. Here he's free to relax, or party, or relax, or party, or relax, and party. His is a world of opulence, excess, and the occasional impulse buy. Not one to rest on his laurels, he's famous for ushering in a new age of entertainment. So, for anyone seeking a place where the sun never sets on a good time, all this awaits.
I am Caesar, and I approve this palace.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving y'all right back. Welcome back to the Braylon's Virtual Tour Live. Glad to have all you here. We just got done talking about podcast versus show and daytime TV, breaking that down, the minutia of daytime TV. Is daytime TV evolving where maybe content creators could, be the new daytime talk shows? Could they be the new game shows? Could they be, the new cooking shows? We talked about that. Then also, too, we just unleashed an idea here live that iHeartMedia could take some underperforming music format stations and transform them into more of a pop culture, entertainment, media radio brand, right? So you have content creators on as personalities. And like I said, I am of the mindset that in order to have anything that is valuable still be around, you do have to evolve the platform. Now, I come from traditional radio where it's no producer working the board and you just show up and you on the mic, you do your 4 hours or your 5 hours and leave. No, you and the board are one. That's the radio I come from. So while I do agree that type of radio should still be around, in that producers matter, I do believe that, or for radio to still around, iHeartMedia will have to go. Will have to be about the business of making this format happen soon. So, yes, indeed. All right, y'all, that's it for me. I gotta go. One love, much love, all love to each every single one of you. Of course, we're gonna try to do Ready to Love tonight. Okay. Now, listen. I talked with the team. I said, listen, it will be great to actually do it when we say we're going to do it, because believe me, during the week, I already have so many shows going on. Thank God we were on a break last week, but we're back on it. So Potomac will be on tonight. Cannot wait for that. And then, of course, Ready to Love. I think we're probably going to do that around 8 or 9 o'clock. But stay tuned, child. I already got my notes and everything. I'm just waiting for all of that. So stay tuned very soon for the Potomac show. Should be coming on tonight around 6 o'clock, or I may come on early at 5 so we can get to Ready to Love. But believe me, Ready to Love is supposed to be for the weekends, not during the week. Okay, but we're family, talk things through, and we come to a solution. Okay, so I'm just a very particular broadcaster, content creator, and media personality that's about my business. So anyway, one love, much love, all love. I feel love is right back to you. See you guys tonight for Potomac. Maybe on at 6 or 5 o'clock. But stay tuned for the way I'm to your notification. All right, y'all. Love you. Bye bye.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, You ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now, they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's faith. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now, they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort. Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child,